What's up, guys? It's Ben from Election Predictions 2020, and today I'm going to be doing a video comparing Trump's electoral performance in 2016 to Mitt Romney's electoral performance in 2012. The states in red here are the states that Donald Trump outperformed Mitt Romney. The states in blue are the states where Donald Trump underperformed Mitt Romney. And before I dive into what this means for the 2020 election and going forward, let me give you some context on the differences between the 2012 and 2016 election. And before I get into that, I would just say please subscribe and share if you haven't already. My goal is to get 100 subscribers by May 1st, by the end of the month. And if I hit that goal, I'm going to announce a surprise then. In my next video will be a video of election night 2016 if it had been Ted Cruz versus Hillary Clinton. And I think y'all really like this video because the results would have been a lot different if Ted Cruz were the Republican nominee instead of Donald Trump. So today's video, Mitt Romney versus Donald Trump, comparing the 2012 election to the 2016 election to evaluate what that means for the 2020 election and beyond. So let's just start out with some obvious differences. So I'm going to be focusing more on the difference between Mitt Romney and Donald Trump and how that affected the 2012 and 2016 elections. But also, you could look at it on the flip side. So Hillary Clinton underperformed on Barack Obama's performance in 2012. So you could look at it saying, oh, Donald Trump was stronger than Mitt Romney, or that Hillary Clinton was weaker than Barack Obama. And I think it is a combination of both. So just one obvious difference is the race and gender. Barack Obama was a black man and Hillary Clinton was a white woman. And this could have affected how many people came out to vote for them. I'm not going to comment really on like how much of a difference this makes because I don't really know, but you can draw your own conclusions and make your own hypotheses on how that affected. Secondly, Barack Obama had the incumbency advantage in 2012. He was already president, so he was a known quantity. And just based on the history of elections, being an incumbent does give you a unique election. Obviously, Hillary Clinton was not an incumbent. And also, just this comes with the incumbency. In 2016, there was a very nasty Democratic primary with Bernie Sanders, and a lot of Bernie Sanders supporters did not come out and vote for Hillary Clinton. You probably didn't see this as much in 2012. And just with the ideology, to briefly touch on this, Hillary Clinton's platform in 2016 was a lot more left-wing than Barack Obama's platform in 2012 or 2008. The Democratic Party had moved more leftward at this point, and I think Bernie Sanders had a lot to do with that. But for example, like Hillary Clinton did not support the Trans-Pacific Partnership like Barack Obama did. There's countless of other examples on how Hillary Clinton was more liberal than Barack Obama as a candidate. And also, Hillary Clinton just had some unique baggage with the emails, Benghazi, and even the Monica Lewinsky affair with Bill Clinton that Barack Obama had. So I definitely think that drug her down some. And next up, this is what I'm going to focus on more because I think there's more stark differences between Mitt Romney and Donald Trump. I think Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama have a lot of policies that were similar. They're more moderate Democrats, although they do have their differences. Mitt Romney and Donald Trump are completely different Republican candidates. Mitt Romney, I would say, is the epitome of the establishment, while Donald Trump is for sure an outsider. And I think in 2016, there was a lot of energy that came with this outsider status that Donald Trump used to his advantage. And a lot of people kind of perceived Mitt Romney as kind of an out-of-touch elite politician. A lot of people just didn't really feel like that they could relate to someone like Mitt Romney. I mean, people thought, oh, it's kind of weird that he's a Mormon. Like, we don't really know how we feel about Mormons. Or like, he worked at Bain Capital. He's just one of these rich white guys that it just like looks down on us. So I think this kind of perception of it, whether it was fair or not, contributed um, to how many people came out to vote in 2016 and 2012. And Trump was kind of the definition of this populist leader, kind of America first. He was kind of against some aspects of free trade, and he was very hard on the border. He was politically incorrect. And I think that the 2016 election, a lot of people say it was defined between the politically incorrect candidate and the politically correct candidate. And a lot of people just liked how Donald Trump kind of said what was on his mind, and he didn't have a filter. And this definitely wasn't the case in 2012. I mean, Mitt Romney definitely had a filter, whether you think that's a good thing or not. And Trump, I think, was more willing to dig in on these social issues that Mitt Romney might have been more afraid of, because he thought that it might not be a smart political move. Donald Trump was just so like brash, and like he didn't really care if he offended anyone, and it worked for him. He won the election, and I think a lot of political advisors would have told Trump not to do this, but his instincts, I guess, were right in the moment. And I would say Donald Trump's appeal was definitely more to the white working class, kind of the forgotten America, flyover country, the politically disengaged. A lot of people who don't normally vote in elections were inspired to vote for Donald Trump, and a lot in the rural areas. And this is important when I get to the electoral map later. And the media had this big perception that he potentially alienated women, people of color, voters of color, and kind of the country club Republicans that I would say Mitt Romney is kind of the epitome of. And this could have negatively affected him too. So he gains some of the voters that he appealed to right here, and he might have alienated some of these voters. And just looking at the popular vote margins, so both Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton did better than their Republican counterparts in the popular vote, but Hillary Clinton actually won less votes than Barack Obama did, which is not a good sign because more people voted in the 2016 election and the 2012 election. And it's pretty common. You just see as the population increases, as more people turn 18, and as more people become U.S. citizens and register to vote, the numbers usually increase by election. So it was a very bad sign that Hillary Clinton got less votes than Barack Obama. And as you can see here, Donald Trump got close to 2 million, a little bit more than 2 million votes in Mitt Romney. So that definitely was the biggest factor. And one thing that's actually interesting, and it's not on here, is both Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump actually got less of a percent than Mitt Romney and Barack Obama got, respectively, because of there were so many people voting for third-party candidates. And this definitely affected the 2016 election, and probably won't affect the 2020 election as much. All right, then the last thing I'm going to look at before I get to the map that I showed you earlier is the Electoral College margins. And this is what really matters. The popular vote does not matter. And if you look at the states that flipped, it was Florida, Ohio, Iowa, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. You see they're all red on this map, and that made the difference. If you see Obama 332 and Trump won with 306. So Trump's margin of victory in the Electoral College was less than Obama's, but he still did enough to win the election. Okay, so going back to this map I was showing you earlier, what I did is I went to this website and I looked at all the different states, and this tracks the differences between the Democratic nominees in the presidential elections each 4 years, and it compares them. So, like, as you can see, you have Bush right here, you have McCain right here, Romney right here, and Trump right here. And one of the general trends is, I mean, it's kind of hard to see, and the lines are both going both ways, but you see more lines like this that are going to the right, and this demonstrates that in most states Trump actually outperformed Mitt Romney, but in some states, as you can see, he underperformed Mitt Romney. And I'll put the link to this New York Times website in the description. So here's the map. And because this video is getting a little bit long, I'm going to split this up into a part 1 and a part 2. So for my full analysis on what this map means between Mitt Romney and Donald Trump for 2020 and beyond, please click part 2 of the video, which will be in the upper left-hand corner, and subscribe here if you haven't already. Thanks.